Hey, folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Weekly Movie News Podcast. This week's news brought to you by the Dolby Cinema. Yes, the past 2 weeks we went through Dolby Atmos, the premium sound format, and then the premium visual side of things with Dolby Vision. And we went into how those things affects your living room mainly. But now, let's talk about putting them together with some extra things for a special theater experience that is Dolby Cinema. So, let's jump in. First of all, Dolby works specifically with AMC, so you will not get a branded Dolby Cinema with Regal, Alamo, Cinemark, or other theater chains. The number of theaters in the US are around 175, roughly half of the amount of IMAX theaters in the States, but Dolby is working on completing another 40 theaters by the end of 2027 as they look to expand to more and more locations. How the contract with AMC works is Dolby will license its brand to be used, and they will provide AMC with the theater design, the equipment, and technology with little to no expense of AMC. AMC will provide the theater space and the construction or renovations needed to match the specifications and calibrations, and then the two parties split the revenues of ticket sales in those theaters, though the exact percentage of the revenue split is not disclosed. Now, of course, sitting in a Dolby Cinema will give you a more premium movie-watching experience compared to standard screens and theaters. So, what sets it apart? First, the seating. All Dolby Cinemas have large leather reclining seats with wider aisles, most theaters having between somewhere around 150 to 280 seats. Now, some have less, and some actually have up to 400 plus seats, which is a massive theater. Then the sound and that Dolby Atmos. If you're familiar with the show, Vincent Daly and myself often talk about the sound quality in the theater and just how loud it gets. And it's fantastic, honestly. The fact that it drowns out any annoying people, and I can't hear someone biting their fingernails next to me, is such an upgrade and worth the few extra bucks for the movie tickets. It's insane. So let's take a screen that has 250 seats in the auditorium. A standard theater will have in the range of 15 speakers on the low end and around 30 speakers throughout the theater on the higher end, with some speakers behind the screen, some along the walls, and then, of course, behind you on the back wall. This also includes 2 to 4 subwoofers. A Dolby Cinema, however, with 250 seats, will have around 50 to 65 speakers in the theater. This includes usually 4 to 6 subwoofers to get incredible bass, and of course adding a dozen or more speakers to the ceiling for true Atmos. Again, Dolby Atmos isn't just about being loud, though it is that as well. It's about the immersion. So specific sounds in a film, whether it be a helicopter, a hurricane, footsteps going throughout a house. In a standard theater, the speakers can toss the sound around from right to left or left to right, or, go behind you. But with Atmos in the Dolby Theater, it gives those objects more of a 3D space to move around. The ceiling speakers, of course, add some sound above you, but the speaker count itself also lets those specific sounds or objects sound as if they're passing through the room and moving about in a more natural way. The speaker placement and setup is much more calibrated too, and on top of all of this, the individual speaker quality themselves are oftentimes better and higher end in a Dolby Cinema than what you would get in a standard theater. When you sit in one of these theaters, it is quite noticeably better, I have to say. But okay, now for the viewing experience and the screen of the theater. Unlike IMAX, Dolby doesn't have fixed aspect ratios or screen sizes it tries to meet, but because the Dolby Cinema typically takes one of the largest or the largest theater in the AMC multiplex that it's at, you will typically have a larger screen in general over the screens at the same location. Dolby typically uses 2 aspect ratios for the screens, about 1/3 of the theaters having what's called a flat 1.85 to 1 ratio, and 2/3 of the theaters having what's called a scope scale, which is 2.39 to 1 aspect ratio for a wider panoramic frame. The real key to the screen, though, is the picture quality from the projector, not so much the size, which again will be above average to very large. So in general, projectors either use xenon arc lamps to provide the light or a laser system, and both are considered digital projectors. Xenon projectors can look great when new, but can't typically do phenomenal dark blacks and bright whites. They also wear with age, so if the bulb hasn't been replaced in a while or well maintained, your picture will look noticeably grayer and not as vibrant, clear, and saturated as a newly replaced bulb. Laser systems last much longer and basically have the same image quality throughout their lifespan, able to provide crisp and vivid images for a long time. Now, there are 2K and 4K Xenon projectors. These are what's most common in small-town, kind of single-screen movie theaters, and they're also in your standard digital screens at your local megaplexes. There's also 2K and 4K laser projectors as well, again being among the better screens at your megaplex. There's older IMAX theaters that use a dual 2K Xenon setup. Then there's IMAX with laser that uses a single 4K laser projector. But the best IMAX you can get is the dual 4K laser system used in just a select locations around the country known as the GT 1.43 venues. And then lastly, there is the Dolby Cinema setup, which all use a calibrated dual 4K laser projection that projects the image simultaneously onto the screen. These laser systems are capable of brighter brights and darker darks, providing better HDR image quality. Now, the dual 4K system from those few IMAX venues are extremely close in quality to the Dolby projectors, but since there are just a handful of those in the country, the Dolby Cinema is known to have the best image quality with the crisp, vivid pictures, extremely dark blacks and bright whites, with an expanded color gamut as well. Just a side note on the IMAX-specific projectors, many of the screens have that single 4K laser projection, and that's also still a great image, but remember, where Dolby Vision is all about the quality of the image, IMAX is all about the sizing of the image. So it's not just the look of the film on the screen, it's the format, which are often large and much taller screens. But back to Dolby, when it comes to image quality and clarity, having Dolby Vision projected using the dual 4K laser projectors has become basically the best in movie theaters. And how it works again, essentially you're just taking identical 4K laser projectors and overlay them and play the film simultaneously. This all helps with the amount of light that can be reflected off the screen and the rich blacks that can be achieved. The films being shown are often calibrated as well to get more precise colors and vibrancy. And in the end, that's what the premium theater of the Dolby Cinema is all about. It's about more. More comfort, more loud, more precise, more picture quality, more colors, more, now including more money. Because with it being a premium platform, your tickets will be a bit more as well. But again, if you listen to me and Vin Daily talk about it, we very much find it worth the few extra bucks, especially since the tickets and drinks and popcorn and candy are overpriced as is. And I go through all of these details, not just today, but the last 3 weeks of all this tech, not because I'm a Dolby shill or anything, or because I'm getting paid by the company, though I guess, hey, Dolby, call me. But it's all about enjoying the thing you're giving your time to as much and as best as possible. Whether it's a movie night in your living room or movie night at the movies, go and enjoy it and make some easy decisions to make it even better. So I hope we all learned something over the past 3 weeks together if you found yourself interested in all the tech and the specs. And now you're better equipped and knowledgeable if purchasing some new gear in your own house or sitting down at your local theater. But most importantly, watch what you like and how you like to watch it. This being a movie podcast, I'd be remiss if I didn't try to nudge you to the theaters, because there's nothing like wanting to watch something and watching it on the big screen. And if you have an elevated or more premium theater near you, like a Dolby Cinema, drive a little extra to get to it. Spend a little bit more to see it, and in the end, walk away being rewarded with a greater experience. And that wraps up the Dolby Deep Dives here. This was Dolby Cinema. We'll pick up with the latest movie news next Tuesday. But for now, the Daily Ratings Weekly Movie News-ish podcast, that was it. See you on Thursday.